What's going on, guys? Jeff Tuffner here with episode, I don't even know what episode it is, but on the Glorious Podcast nonetheless, with my NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3 review, and holy fucking shit, guys, this show was fucking amazing. This was easily the best NXT Takeover I've witnessed to this date, ever. Like, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion, that's what I've seen a lot on Twitter, people saying that this has been the best NXT Takeover yet. I was so pumped up for this show today, and it lived up to its expectations, and it lived up, it went even higher, it went beyond my expectations. It was fucking off the charts amazing tonight, guys. There were 5 matches, and every single match, it's so hard to even rank the matches from like the best to last, because even the last match, it's not that match sucked, it's just that there were so many good other matches on the show that I can't even like rank them really. I mean, if I have to rank them, though, my favorite personal match on the show was probably the women's match. It's tough, though. It's real tight between the women's match and Johnny Gargano versus Cien Almas, the first match of the show. But they were both my favorite matches on the show. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Roode was okay. That's probably going to end up being my last match. It was an okay match. It wasn't bad. But everything else was just so good. The tag team match was amazing. The ending to that was amazing. We got new champs. Sanity are the champions. What else happened? We have Asuka, still the champion. I knew she'd win. I just knew. And now people are speculating that Ember Moon could be on her way to the main roster. And, when I first heard this, I'm like, nah, no way. She's not going up to the main roster yet. And then I really put some thought into it. She could possibly be on her way to the main roster this coming week. I feel like they really want Asuka to keep the title. But they don't want to make Ember look like weak or anything. They still want to make her look strong. So they feel like Ember's never really going to maybe take the title. They want to keep the title on Asuka for a significant amount longer of time or whatever. So maybe the only way to get out of that is maybe moving Ember up to the main roster. So that could be what the route they're going to end up taking here, is moving her up to either Raw or SmackDown, which I don't necessarily agree with, because I don't want to see her on Raw or SmackDown, because it's not that I don't like her. I'm a big fan of Ember Moon's. It's just I don't want to see anyone on Raw or SmackDown. I mean, I used to be like okay with SmackDown, but both shows have been a hot mess. And you know how Vince McMahon is when he comes to ruining NXT talent. You know, there's this big list of talents he's ruined, so that's why I don't want to see. But who knows? You know, not everyone gets ruined when they come to the main roster, so I don't know. And she might not be, but I don't know. I personally hope she still stays in NXT. The question now is, what's next for Asuka? Who does she go on to face next? So that would be interesting to find out, because they've really, she might be one of the best women wrestlers of all time. I've always low-key been, a big fan of hers. She's really grown on me, especially as of late. Talented in the ring as anything. So, I don't know. I like the idea that I actually do like them keeping the title on her. I really wanted to see Ember win, but I'm completely fine with Asuka retaining the title. And that match was phenomenal. Off the charts match, just like basically every match on this damn card tonight. Speaking of the other match that I thought was amazing, Johnny Gargano versus Cien Almas to open the show. I didn't have high expectations for this match. I figured it would open the show. I was like, yeah, this will be an okay match. And that's what I said about the majority of matches on this show. It will be an okay match, and my expectations were blown away when I watched the match, because they were fucking amazing. But this match was amazing. Gargano, he got a huge pop to open up the show. He's got his new music and everything. And then Cien, I feel like I didn't think much of Cien, but he really proved me wrong tonight. He is talented as all hell in that ring. Him and Gargano put on an amazing match. Back and forth, came down to the wire. You didn't know when it was going to end. One sequence after another of just crazy moves. So props to both of them. They put on an amazing match to open up the show. I'm not even mad. I'm supposed to really be mad, I would think, that maybe Gargano lost, because I thought he needed the win. I think that's what I said in my prediction video, but I'm not even mad that Cien won, because he was amazing, and I don't give a shit who won that match. That match was just off the charts good. So that's how they open the show. They go to the tag team match, Sanity versus the Authors of Pain. This match, another match, just like Gargano versus Cien. I didn't expect a whole lot out of it, but it surpassed my expectations significantly and proved me completely wrong, and I really enjoyed this match. Especially the ending, the way they had it end. That crazy spot where Killian Dane ran right through, one of the members of AOP and had Nikki Cross, and they all went through the table. It was freaking crazy. That spot was amazing. Sanity was good. I liked Alexander Wolf, I think his name is, the one member of Sanity. He really impressed me. He was great in that match. And Eric Young was good as usual. Everybody was good. The Authors of Pain were good. I don't know. I don't think they've lost the Authors of Pain yet. I think that was their first loss. So that match was amazing. So you open up the show. I'm already losing my mind. I'm like, we're 2 matches into the show. The 2 matches that I didn't expect a whole lot out of, I thought they would be decent, have been fucking amazing. So I'm like, this night's already off to a great start. This is NXT. It's amazing how every time NXT TakeOver happens, the show is off the charts good. I have yet to dislike one NXT TakeOver. Yes, there have been better ones that have been better than others. I know that. But there hasn't been a bad one. It's not like with, regular WWE pay-per-views where it's like, this pay-per-view sucked and this pay-per-view was, really good or whatever. I just don't, it's like, they're always good. NXT TakeOver's always good. So, it's great. It's just great. Aleister Black versus Hideo Itami. This was a good match. This was the match. I thought, like, just the way the show was going, they had this as the 3rd match. After the 2 matches, they were coming in hot with this one. So, it's like, this one really had to be good. I kind of thought it would be kind of a downer before it happened because just the way the first team, I was like, there's no way there could be another like great match. But they went out there and put on a hell of a match. Aleister Black's entrance was fucking amazing. I like his entrance in general. And then you had that band who was there, who they were pretty good. Code Orange or whatever. They opened the show with a song, which that was pretty badass. And then they had him do Aleister Black's entrance, which was even better. And then him and Hideo Itami put on a great back and forth match. Aleister Black picks up the win. Some people are saying Hideo Itami could be on his way to the main roster. I don't know. He's been in NXT maybe longer than anyone who's ever been in NXT. Injuries are holding him back, but I don't know if he's. We'll see him on the main roster soon, but I don't know. They did have an interesting spot where they showed Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan up in like a suite or whatever, scouting the town, if that's how you want to put it. There were other NXT superstars up there with them, so they really are hinting at maybe another like somewhat superstar shakeup come maybe either next week or 2 weeks from now on either Raw or SmackDown, where we could see some names from NXT come up and maybe guys switch brands on Raw and SmackDown. I did read something earlier today that they apparently are going to move Randy Orton to Raw, Finn Balor to SmackDown, Gallows and Anderson to SmackDown, and the Usos to Raw. I don't know how accurate it is, but it seems quite accurate. It would be a good move for that. I'll talk about that more in another video. But let's get back to NXT. All right, what did we not cover? We didn't really talk about the main event yet. I'll get to that in just a second. I forgot to say I love the ending to the first. I didn't love the ending to the first match. I love the first match. I've said that before, but the ending was interesting. I wasn't necessarily the hugest fan of it. With what's the name of CN's manager? That girl. I don't even remember her name. Something Vega or whatever. But she threw the shirt in, the DIY shirt. I didn't, I wasn't a big fan. I thought maybe it could have had a clean ending. But again, CN's a heel. That, it's heel tactics to win a match. So still, it doesn't really take away from the fact that the match was amazing. So let's talk about the main event. We've been talking about everything else on this card that was amazing. The main event, I felt like was not the best match on the show. It was probably my least favorite, but it was a good match nonetheless. Crazy, more or less talk about what happened after the match, because I feel like that's what everyone's going to be talking about in the coming days, not necessarily the match itself. So McIntyre picks up the win, so that's surprising one thing right there. Like, I thought Bobby Roode would retain. I didn't think, this is McIntyre's first title match since coming back. They would, they're going to wait at least another takeover to put the title on him, but they took that title off Roode, they gave it to McIntyre. Good back and forth match. It kind of started slow, then I think it picked up toward the end. So it was a good match toward the end. I like the exchanges toward the end of finishers and everything. What the hell happened? Bobby Roode, Drew McIntyre did some crazy flip over the top rope, and he landed like right on his back. It looked like Roode was supposed to catch him because he ended up selling it and like kind of falling down. It's not like he just moved out of the way or whatever. It looked like he moved out of the way, but still sold it and got like McIntyre got like a piece of him with like his legs, but landed hard on the mat. So it looked like Rude was supposed to catch him or something and then go down, but I don't know. A little bit of a miscommunication there, I guess. Thank God no one's injured, or at least we don't think. Severely, at least, so. But there could be like a minor injury. But they gave the title to Drew McIntyre, though, so I was surprised. I'm like, wow, they gave the title to McIntyre. I did not expect them to put the title on him here. And I was pissed that they didn't have Drew McIntyre bring back the Broken Dreams theme. Everybody was waiting for it. They were teasing it so hard. They even had like bits of it in the like match video package. So I mean, they really were teasing that they would bring back Broken Dreams, and they didn't do it. So I was disappointed by that because I love that song. It's one of my favorite themes all time. So I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed by that, but it doesn't take away from the fact that this was a good match. So anyway, I'm sitting here watching this match. I'm like, where is Adam Cole? We have gotten through this entire show, and we have not seen Adam Cole yet. Well, we weren't through the entire show. It was in the middle of the match, I'm thinking this. So I'm like, is he going to show up at the end of the show or something? Some other angle? Because I was like, this would be a huge letdown if he doesn't show up. And I mean, it was so hyped up. I mean, it was just basically guaranteed to happen, and we didn't see it. We did see another somewhat of a debut. I mean, we already saw these guys in NXT in past weeks, but we see that they're a team now. We saw Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly show up and attack Sanity after the match, which they would later play a role in what happened after the main event. So McIntyre's there in the ring. They're about to end the show. I'm like, I see the thing, that little, the thing that comes up, the copyright thing or whatever in the bottom left-hand corner. That comes up. I'm like, no, where's Adam Cole? And then Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly appear in the left side of the ring. And then the crowd's all like turning around. You could like see it right before they showed them, all turning around. I'm like, oh shit, he's got to be here. It's happening. Holy shit. And then Adam fucking Cole shows up. Oh my God, I went nuts. I was marking out like crazy. Even though I knew it was going to happen, so it wasn't like a huge surprise. I was just like, I've been waiting for this forever. I thought it was going to happen back at TakeOver Chicago. Didn't happen there. And it finally happened tonight. And then they're going to put Adam Cole in a faction with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Some type of like a Ring of Honor faction or whatever, which is pretty badass. And then, looks like Adam Cole's going to be going for the NXT title against Drew McIntyre, but then you still got Bobby Roode somewhat in the picture, so triple threat maybe at TakeOver Houston or whatever, Survivor Series weekend, I think that's where it is. So that would be interesting, and it looks like Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly want a shot at the tag team titles in NXT. So crazy night at NXT, arguably the best NXT TakeOver to date. There have been so many good ones. There hasn't been a bad one, but this one was just off the charts, amazing. I just need to go to one of these one day. They're coming here, Philadelphia, NXT TakeOver, Philly, Royal Rumble weekend. I'm definitely gonna go. I was surprised. I was just curious to look at the tickets for the Brooklyn one. There were a lot of tickets available today for like a decent price. I thought it'd be like a sellout or whatever, but there were like, lower level tickets available for a decent price. I was like, wow, if I lived, a little closer to Brooklyn, I would definitely be there. So I'll definitely try to go to the one when they're in here in Philly. So I just need to be at one of these NXTs. These events are like crazy. It's just like, they haven't been a bad one yet. And then tonight was just amazing. Good luck to SummerSlam, because SummerSlam's going to have to do something crazy to be better than this. And the way the SummerSlam card's looking, we've already witnessed the best show this weekend. It was NXT. Everybody expected it to be NXT, and I'm pretty sure it will end up being NXT. But nonetheless, I'm still hyped for SummerSlam tomorrow. But man, I just don't know what to say. This show was so fucking good tonight. Amazing. Anyway, that's it. I think I've reviewed everything there is to cover. It was nice to see JR show up, and Corey Graves make a little bit of a return too. Have kind of like switch out with commentary and stuff throughout the show. That was cool. And they had all, a lot of the former NXT stars who were on the main roster. The guys Vince buried, all the women. Vince destroyed them on the main roster. Shinsuke Nakamura, he hasn't destroyed him completely. Yeah, Kalisto, who is still not in the Cruiserweight division. They moved, that's a whole nother story. They wanted him in the Cruiserweight division. They moved him to Raw, but he's not in the Cruiserweight division. He could be in there doing something, but he's basically playing the role of a jobber on Monday Night Raw. But that's another whole story, guys. Let me know what you thought of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. I don't think there's any way you could hate this show. If someone hated this show, then I guess you just don't like wrestling, because this show was amazing. As for a rating for this show, I don't think I've ever given a show this high of a rating. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I felt like if the main event could have just been a little bit better, the match itself, I would give this show a perfect 10. If that main event, that's how good this show, like this was just amazing. So let me know what you thought of this show below. I'm pretty sure you liked it. Let me know. Give me a follow over on Twitter. Link will be listed in the description as always. Go check out some other videos on the channel. My SummerSlam predictions are up. And I have another video on The Undertaker possibly showing up at SummerSlam tomorrow. That's also on the channel. Go check them out. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on this video. And I'll see you tomorrow with either some news before SummerSlam, if not some news after SummerSlam with my SummerSlam review. See you then.